Hey guys, I was working on a project today when I decided I wanted to shoot some footage from an overhead point of view. I decided to record it, so here's a fast and easy tutorial on how to make your own overhead camera mount. Grab a piece of wood and place it on the center of your desk. This is where the main focus of your camera will be. Then measure the distance from the wall to your piece of wood. And don't worry if it's not exactly precise, because it's not that big of a deal. So to make this is pretty easy. All you need is a drilling machine, some screws, one bolt and nuts. Then you need a piece of scrap wood. I got this long thin one and a bit of thicker wood. I don't think it's really necessary, but I'm gonna try it with this. So that's all we need, and now I'll show you how to make it really fast. So I needed my piece to be 53 centimeters. So I'm just gonna measure that. Draw a quick line. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I don't need two thick parts, it's just to hold it against the wall and to hold the camera. So I'm thinking about this maybe. This size should be good. And then for the other one I'm gonna go with about here. So now I'm gonna saw those parts. So I will be cutting these on my table saw, but if you don't have a table saw, fear not, you can also just use the hand saw and it's fine. Because it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Now I'm gonna do some quick and light sanding. This is definitely not necessary, by the way. I'm gonna clean this part up a little bit better because my camera is gonna be up against it. Then we put the smaller one, like this probably, because this is where it's gonna go onto the wall. I'm gonna pre-drill some holes. Let's see how thick this is actually. Mark that. Would be pretty smart to do. I have a really small camera, about this size, so it's not heavy. It's I think it's about 200 grams, so I can make this with 2 screws. Unfortunately, my drill's almost out of battery. So that's great. I'm gonna just tighten in my hand a bit. So now it should look a bit like this. It's really simple, nothing special. Next we're going to drill a hole in the center of this block. This is the block where your camera is gonna be on. It's going to be up here like this. Oops. Basically the same as the other side. It's gonna be like this. So I actually think I'll put another hole in it so I can change the position. I think that's quite cool. So you can add that feature too if you like. The first line is where the bolts for the camera will go. I'm marking this so the bolts don't cross each other. The dot is for the second bolt, which will be attached to the arm. So I got one extra bolt, it's just a long one. It should be a little bit longer, but I think this will work. So I just hit the screw through. As you can see, I'm really bad at screwing straight, but I think that's okay. So I drilled some holes. Probably the first few times I'm gonna have to hit it to get it a bit in. Screw that shut on the top. There we go, nice and tight. Now to make a second hole over here, make sure you don't do it aligned with the bolt we just screwed through, because it will just hit the other one. So just go a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. The nice thing about using the bolt is that it still turns a little bit, even though it's tight, so I can also turn the camera around, so that's pretty neat. And I'm just gonna drill a hole over here. So the hole's done. Now we're gonna insert the bolt. And to make sure it doesn't damage my camera, I got this little rubber thingy that I'm gonna put on top of there. My camera doesn't have that deep of a screw hole, so this is about good. It's about 0.5 centimeters or millimeters, I would say. As you can see, this one is probably just strong enough to hold my camera. Don't risk it by making it too weak, because it will be a shame if your camera fell down and it broke. So I actually just cut it off over here, because I didn't think about, if I would put it back a bit, that I couldn't spin my camera on. So I don't know what I was thinking. Well, actually, of course you can spin the screw on, so it wasn't necessary. Oh well, I already cut it off now, so I'm gonna try it out now and you'll see what it looks like. Here it is, my workspace from the top. As you can see, I made a mess, and that's basically what it always looks like. Also, if I'm maybe doing some pyrography, I can zoom in, and then I'll be, you know, working over there with my hands. Let's see if it's a bit correct. I'll be sitting here and, you know, sanding my hammer, whatnot. And you can see it properly, so that's how you make a standard for the camera from the top. So I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you liked it. You can always improvise this. It's not very hard to improvise on this because it's really the most basic of the basic, but it works, so I hope it's useful.